Hey guys, Slaughter Magic here, and I thought I'd make a little mixed up news story with all the mixed up news that's going on today that all doesn't merit its own story. I was just skimming the subreddit, which I'd never do because it's a toxic wasteland of wizards, apologists, and ass-kissers, but wanted to see what people are thinking about the ban and restrict announcement and that kind of stuff, and there's over 2,000 comments, and I'm not going to read them all, but people are like, yeah, it's still shit. But there were some other reactions that are kind of interesting. One person posted, out of all the cards banned in Standard over the past 15 years, which is just about since Standard was effectively invented, 56% of them were banned in the past 12 months. This is 100% the fault of them purposely upping the power level of Standard. This is the result of that. Do not get it confused about it being any other cause, anything else behind it. It's because they jacked up the power level of Standard. When you got, 50 hyper powerful cards instead of 5, you can mix them together in more ways. You have more options. You have exponentially more options to mix the cards together. And then you get exponentially broken decks that cannot be beaten. And then emergency action needs to be taken because, the more powerful, the faster the format goes. Well, a turn 4 win consistently, they got to ban that. Oh, too much draw, gotta ban that, because unbeatable card advantage can't be beaten. Oh, too much control, well, you can't play literally anything in your deck against that, so we gotta do something about that. Oh, a card that can't within reason be removed from play, well, we gotta do something about that. Untouchable Planeswalker, well, we gotta do something about that. It's just, all these cards are coming together to be like, okay, that's too good of a deck. So if you're wondering about the actual numbers, somebody posted that 50 cards printed in 2019 or 2020 have been banned. 50. That's the number of cards, not the number of bans, because Oko was banned in 6 formats? I'd have the number of bans, but it depends if you count digital only formats like, Historic Artisan Brawl or something, because cards were banned from that, but it's not like a real format, but they were banned for a reason, and it's a whole thing. So the general sentiment seems to be there are too many bans. What you need to do is address this at a fundamental level. People are finally realizing what's going on and saying, you need to play test this shit better, and you need to power down Standard to back, at the level it was before. That is the consensus. We have voted, Wizards. Go do it. So it's a mix of there have been too many bans, but then nobody actually going as far as saying they shouldn't have banned anything because that's insane. They're all kind of backtracking to, okay, we need to fix this before it happens. Duh. So there's another post that's kind of pissing me off because just short of 2,000 people were dumb enough to upvote this despite it being completely and utterly false. There is a screenshot from, I guess, the email or something, or the message that you get when you order a secret lair, and on the bottom it says, note, as soon as you unlock the activation key, in other words, the digital codes, you lose your right for a refund. And the absolute moron that wrote this headline doesn't understand what that means or why it was written or what countries that applies to. I could go way into this, but nobody cares about international stuff and the methods with which you file chargebacks and all this other crap and product warranty laws in Australia versus the US and all this nonsense. So I'll just give the highest level, just buzz through it thing. It's not going to make sense, but just take my word for it that I know what I'm talking about here. So the title of this post, by the way, is on the topic of shitty secret lair practices. Redeeming your MTGA or MTGO code sent immediately prevents you from refunding your lost or damaged secret lairs when they arrive 5 to 6 months later. False. 100% false. In certain European countries, I think definitely Australia, maybe New Zealand, and a couple other places, you are entitled to cancel a pre-order, and this is effectively a pre-order. So they are just notifying you, Wizards is notifying you with that note on the bottom of that if you use part of it, you cannot return it. So if you order it for $50, get the codes, use the codes, and then say, I want to cancel my pre-order, give me my $50 back, you use part of it. You have redeemed, irreplaceably destroyed basically part of the product. So no, they're not going to give you your $50 back because that's a scam. They are simply letting you know that they are not going to get scammed by that stupid law. And there are exemptions in the law, and that's one of them. If you use part of it, or there's certain little sections of the law for digital goods and stuff. I guess one of the approved things was a number of hours of usage was approved in Australia or something for Steam. So Steam, I think, changed their policy to if you have 2 hours or less of gameplay time, then you can return it. But after that, it's deemed used, or it's you've basically done the equivalent of digitally not returning it in its original sealed packaging brand new. You've used it, gotten something out of it, whatever. So games that you can beat in 20 hours, they're like, no, we're going 2 hours. So 2 hours is like the hard limit last I checked. So digital goods were a big pain. Now, the other thing is certain countries, quite a few of them, and I think individual U.S. states have some kind of like product quality guarantee, like guaranteed refund, minimum refund period policy / law. So since these are sold to 50 different countries, they're just like, okay, we're just letting you guys know that if you want to return it, like you already receive it and you're like, you know what, I want to return this and I'm entitled to return it because I haven't opened it yet. If you redeem the keys, guess what? You've opened it yet. You have opened part of the product and used it. So they're just letting you know in that case as well, they are not necessarily going to give you a full refund because you used part of the product. In order to get a refund, it cannot be missing parts. And this is what they would consider to be missing parts, but from a digital standpoint, because they can't remove them from your account because they don't know who the hell you are. They don't know who you gave the codes to, or like if you use the same email for ordering as you did on MTGO or whatever. They do know which order goes with which code and which codes were redeemed yet though, so they know if you used it. So that note only applies to those two circumstances as far as the law is concerned. Anything else, let me just real quick buzz through it. If it never shows up, contact, Hasbro support or whoever the hell does fulfillment, which it's literally a Hasbro property that does fulfillment. They just gave it a different name, by the way, and say, hey, it never showed up. Check the tracking, or it says delivered, it wasn't delivered. That's bad because they'll just say it was stolen off your porch. Good luck, bye. And you know what? In that case, it probably was. But if the tracking says it's been in Tennessee for 30 days, guess what? It's not going there. They'll either tell you to wait longer because the tracking isn't updated, or if the tracking number gets marked as invalid, they're like, I don't know, it was never sent, or who the hell knows where it is. Okay, here, I have a refund. They'll handle it. And then if they don't handle it, make sure if through the whole process you say, I emailed them and said this, here's a copy of it. I saved a copy to, locally printed it as a PDF, whatever, screenshotted it. And here's Wizards of the Coast support reply. Here's what they said. Here's the date they said it. Or a phone call. I called them on this date. Here's a paraphrase of what they said. Or I recorded it. Here's an MP3 of what they said. You basically need to build a case to say, I'm filing a credit card chargeback because I did not receive what I ordered. I did not receive the product basically at all, or it's not vaguely what was described. And the company's not doing anything about it, and here's proof that the company's not doing anything about it. So if you called up like Visa or something and said, I ordered 7 items and I opened the box and the packing slip and the contents both say that 6 items are in the box, but I ordered 7 and they charged me for 7. I want to file a chargeback. They'll say, did you contact support for the shop, the vendor? If the answer is no, they're going to tell you to go do that. And I believe the minimum amount that you have to contact them is 2 to 3 times, and it's like 2 or 3 depending upon the method. So I'm getting way too detailed, but basically write down how and when you contacted support, what they said, and then if you get nowhere with Hasbro/Wizards support about your missing or lost or even damaged product, then you can get a chargeback successfully submitted. They'll give, I think, like 7 days or something for Hasbro to respond and say, this evidence is fake. Here's the other side of the story. This is a misinterpretation. Or we contacted them via phone and they're only showing you the email. Or they can dispute it, or they can just be like, fine, take the $50. And then they credit it back to your card. And if it's Visa, it'll be a nightmare. If it's Discover, it won't be. Just full disclosure, they used to be a channel sponsor. But I mean, in reality, their support is unbelievably better than Visa. Holy shit, I could tell you some stories. But don't sign up for a Discover card until January 1st, 2021 when I start advertising them again, because I'm over the limit for the number that they'll credit me for. Just throwing that out there. I'm sure they want me saying that, but anyway. So if it arrives damaged, let's talk about that. Wizards has a product replacement program. They virtually always have. If you get one single card that's misprinted, or it's gray, it's faded, some of the text is missing, it's wrong, it's cut wrong, it's whatever, there's a flaw in the foiling, any kind of printing flaw whatsoever, you can, I think, get pre-authorized. I think you have to describe it, then they approve it. Or, I don't know, you just fill out a form and send it to them. It's one of the two. But either way, you send it to them, and they have a reserve of products in their little vault where they'll open it up, find the card that you need, or the printing company will just send them stacks of singles. And you send them your 3 defective cards, they'll send you 3 brand new perfect condition cards. That's simple. A lot of people don't know about that. It's really easy to find on the website too. It's just Google it. So if you open up your secret lair and 2 out of the 5 cards are misprinted or whatever, 10, 11, I guess with Lucille it's 11, but whatever. Just, contact them or, find the page, do the claim form or get approved for it, send a picture and they'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. And they'll either send you a new one, or if they run out, they'll do something about it. And I've heard all kinds of things that they do about it, like new sealed product or some kind of like online credit or something. They get creative. They usually make it right because they don't want pissed off customers leaving bad reviews or, BBB complaints. For non-Americans, that's the Better Business Bureau. So if the product is horribly mangled, it just shows up completely unusable, it's half destroyed, the cards are like sliced in half or they got absolutely soaking wet, and you contacted Hasbro support and they said, there's nothing we could do about it, oh well, better luck next time, try filing a claim with the US Postal Service, and then they didn't insure the shipment. Some credit card companies have a product quality assurance. It's pretty rare to use this as opposed to they literally never sent me what I wanted. I contacted them twice and got nowhere. They didn't even get back to me, give me my money back, boom, charge back. In fact, this clause is used more often for like flights than anything else. But let's say that you have very, very, very strong evidence, like you filmed it taking off the seal, which I would recommend everybody do this. And then 2 out of the 5 cards from your secret lair are there and 3 of them are missing. That is like devastatingly not what you ordered. Once you've already made a good faith effort, as they qualify it in their legalese, to contact Hasbro and say, hey, do something about this, and they refuse to do something about this, you call up Visa, MasterCard, Discover, or God help you if it's Amex, and say, they sold me a product that is knowingly defective and they're not doing anything about it. In some countries, by the way, that's illegal. I think the US is one of them. It's like a minimum guaranteed warranty law or something. I don't know, whatever. But some credit card companies, you're going to have to read the terms. It's sometimes different between cards. I think actually with Visa, you have to have like a special like platinum level something premium whatever to have this like product coverage, and it usually comes with like free roadside assistance for like battery jumping toes and like tire replacements too. It's really weird. Like it's usually on the premium cards, I will say that, so check your terms. But yeah, if they have some kind of quality warranty insurance, like free implied warranty on anything you buy with that card, because it's a whoop-de-doo premium card, you can just say, I'm not happy with this. Here's photos proving it. And here's a screenshot of them saying they're not going to do anything about it. Give me my money back, Visa. They'll reverse the transaction immediately. They get so few claims, they won't even question it half the time unless you didn't provide enough evidence or they think something sketchy is happening. And I mean, you didn't hear it from me, but if it's $50, they won't give enough of a shit to look into it too much. And if it's $1,000, they will. Just throwing that out there. But like if you ordered 10 secret lairs and 4 of them showed up in the box and Hasbro's like, no, we have that you ordered 4. Then you email back Hasbro, look, here's the credit card statement. Here's me logging into discover.com. Here's how much you charged me. That says 10. And they're like, nope, that's still wrong. Doesn't match our records. That's when you call up Discover and say something got screwed up with this. And since they're all amazing, fully trained people who speak flawless American English, oh my gosh, I love Discover. They'll have that shit sorted in like 60 seconds, dude. Like for real. More like an hour with Visa in my experience, and an hour plus an hour the next day plus next week they'll call you back again, and then you'll get it sorted out. Oh, that printer ink order, that was almost not worth my time to deal with. But you do have a product warranty with a lot of the higher end premium credit cards, so just check that. That's another option. But in any case, just contact Wizards of the Coast support first and tell them what happened. That is always the first step, always, but your credit card company at the end of the day has got your back. You are getting a valid product or your money back one way or another. It is almost impossible to fall somewhere in between, unless you purposely screwed up. By the way, if you want to absolutely be guaranteed to not get a result from Wizards, threaten legal action whenever you contact them. They are by commercial policy, because it's a third-party support company handling this, not allowed to negotiate anything on behalf of Wizards that involves court cases, legal actions, lawsuits, anything. So if you say, hey, this arrived damaged, replace it or I'm suing you, boom, no response. None. You will get nothing. You're an idiot for trying to threaten them. You're an idiot for thinking they're going to be like, oh, I'm cowering in fear. I'm so scared they're going to sue me. What if I have to go to court? That'll be so expensive. Oh, hit the refund button, Cheryl. Hit it as quick as you can. Oh, woe is me. No, they'd be like, oh, another jackass threatening legal action. Great. Now they have to go through courts. They have to go through Wizards directly. They're not going to respond to this horse shit. We're basically just going to drop it, not respond to them, or send a cookie cutter email that says, since you've threatened legal action, we now have to take it up with Wizards legal department. We're not allowed to negotiate on their behalf because we're a third party support, call center or digital email support center. So good luck. Bye. Closed. Ticket closed. So don't think you're being all tactical and shoot yourself in the foot doing that. Okay, that segment went a little further than I thought, but it's really valuable information for you guys to know. So I guess I did want to extensively cover how exactly step by step to get out of a bad situation with really any company. The one thing, if you want to get really far with Wizards and you live in a country where you know that they passed a law about, digital good assurance, digital good refund and replacement policies, no matter what return policy on any physical good ever made, just politely remind them if you're getting absolutely nowhere. By the way, I live in this country and they just passed this law about, guaranteed refunds, under any circumstances, no questions asked. So just in case you weren't aware and didn't catch it, I live in this country. So that may be a factor in your final decision. Just phrase it that way instead of, hey, you got to follow the law, and if you don't, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to get the Belgian government up your ass. No, you ain't going to get nowhere with that. I demand this or you're going to jail. No, they're not going to haul them off to jail. They're going to fine them. I mean, come on. You should have seen how badly Australia fined everybody and their grandma for not giving digital refunds after they passed that law. I think I heard that they gave every Australian a tax break because it was such an obscene amount of money they collected from like Microsoft and stuff, where people bought like Office, I don't know, 2013 or whatever, and they're like, actually, I want to refund this. They're like, you can't. You bought a digital code and it's already installed. We'll revoke the license. It's a concurrent login license. Like, so they're like, we don't take returns on digital purchases, or you're out of the 7-day period. And they're like, well, I live in Australia, so it's 30 or whatever it is. And then people like en masse reported it because they all heard on the news, hey, this is a new law we just passed, that they just fined Microsoft. They're like, hey, here's 20,000, of you violating this law, and it's like a $25,000 fee every time you violated it. Hand over like a fraction of $1 billion or whatever the hell it was. I'm just making up numbers, but I saw the headline. It was a ton of money. And I'm not even 100% sure it was Australia, but I think it was. So yeah, those smaller countries and their aggressive, angry, anti-monopoly governments really, really, really take this seriously, but it doesn't mean that you need to immediately start threatening them when you contact support over a $50 product that they're probably going to replace anyway if you don't be a dumbass. So the last story I want to cover today, and this one's a real treat, Commander Legends. It is not due out until November 20th after all the delays, and even then it'll be a miracle if it ships out then. An overwhelmingly large amount of it was just leaked on eBay because some absolute moron from San Antonio, Texas, named LUIST281, that is their about to be deleted eBay account name, they sold 12 sealed boosters. And they had evidence in the photo that they opened a lot more than that. They had entire stacks of, I don't know if they were buy a box promos or like box toppers or something. They have way too many of these 2 planeswalkers that were in there. And they're in Texas, but the cards are German. So that strongly suggests that the Belgian print company is not printing these because they're still on lockdown and can't or something. Or they're too overloaded, or I don't know. And the American print company is in Texas, although I heard that they stopped using them or something. That can't be true. The cards still look like shit. So of course they're still using the Texas company. I don't know what's going on. But these seem a bit, stolen from the print facility, because like, who the hell, even the distributors shouldn't have these at this point. And, as far as how did the German ones end up in America? Well, this is where they were printed. It's just, how did they stay in America? Like, the foreign ones aren't even sold by any of the major distributors in the US as far as I know. By special order, they can sometimes get them, but the international shipping is insane. You got to order like a bunch, and then it's like a one-time special, oh, we'll do you a favor kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil these because I'd be a little too close to a primary source on it. I mean, it's been on Reddit for 5 hours at the time of recording, but I don't want Wizards to think mistakenly that I was the one who initially leaked this information and then try to shut down my channel. No thanks. But I'll definitely be covering these like tomorrow when they blow up absolutely internet wide. So check in tomorrow for extensive Commander Legends card leaks. If these were stolen from the printing facility, again, boy, there's not much Wizards can do about that except, use one that actually gives a shit about security. I mean, did you guys see that documentary on the McDonald's Monopoly game? Did you know that most lottery tickets in America are actually printed in Canada because they couldn't find anybody in America they trusted? And or the highest security, actually good track record company, printing company for secure stuff that's financially important was in Canada. Anyway, yeah, they just went bargain basement, shittiest equipment, garbage, no quality standards, minimally staffed, just wing it, who gives a shit company in Texas to print all this garbage for like the last 10 years at least for the English stuff. And surprise, bunch of misprints and bad cuts and all this stuff, and they don't give a shit. And now suddenly they give a shit because somebody stole it and put it on eBay. By the way, who the hell is stupid enough to put it on eBay? Because there was one bid, I guarantee you it was Wizards of the Coast or one of their employees, and now they're going to get a return address. And even if it's a P.O. box, they could just subpoena, get a court order in like 1 day about stolen IP, stolen product, physically stolen boosters, whatever. Get that from some, liberal-friendly court out in Seattle, and boom, ta-da, they just got the entire, DNA sequence of the person who owns that eBay account. Their bank, their billing, their credit card, their PayPal, their email, their home address, just everything. They just dominated the person. They're going to go straight to court, and then they're probably going to go straight to jail, depending upon what happened here. So, dumbass who thought they could make $455 plus, my God, $10 shipping. Really? You're not gonna do free shipping on $455. I mean, I know this person's a dumbass, but Anyway, that's what's worth risking going to jail and getting like a $10,000 settlement, or like it could be as high as $150,000 if they go after the right type of charges, or civil statutory penalties, I should say. Although Wizards, for people like this, have a long history of going very, very soft on people that they finally catch with their investigation team. So I say make an example, publicly shame them, and say this is what'll happen to you if you do this, and then hold them up as an example. But they don't tend to do that for some reason. I think they're a little too nice over there. But my guess is they got a booster box. They opened 24 of them and they're selling 12. That appears to be what they did. I don't know how the hell they have a stack of, I mean, this looks like 20 or 30 of the same borderless planeswalker. I don't understand what happened there. 2 of them have a different rarity symbol, but they're the same card. So now I really don't understand what's going on here. But yeah, we'll see full translations and stuff and go through them tomorrow. Maybe the day after. Depends how long this takes to spread. But I mean, it's like a really, really, really big leak. So I mean, people are already hearing about it now. You probably already heard about it. Oh, you're hearing about it now watching this video, aren't you? So this person is clearly an unintelligent dumbass. I mean, they have 134 feedback, which is shocking. Their account is 15 years old, so they're risking a 15-year-old established account on eBay. Holy shit. They actually have 4 more items for sale right now, and they tend to sell primarily hunting gear. So they're risking all of that, their whole sales career, their feedback, everything, to make $450 on some likely stolen Magic cards. Wow. I mean, how can somebody be this stupid? So the title says Commander Legends Collector Booster, CMR 12 count new sealed MTG. That is the title. But then the description says this bid is for 13 booster packs. Okay. Each pack has 15 cards, space 3 exclamation marks, have 26 available. Okay. Why is that relevant? And lot of 50 loose cards, all in mint condition of the same collection Commander Legends. Get them before the official release, ... DM if you want to talk about the loose cards. Ships soon as payment is received. Look at my other card listing. So if you weren't already convinced that this person was a borderline illiterate dumb it says language Dutch. It's German, you absolute moron. It says featured characters, Abomasnow, Abra, Absol, Excelgor, Aegis / Aerodactyl, Aggron. Those are Pokemon, and also, he selected all of them. Under it says game, Magic the Gathering, manufacturer Wizards of the Coast. He did get the UPC correct, and it is the Deutschland version, and it is 12, but he says 13 plus loose, but that isn't in the title, but it is in the description, but it is in the pictures. This person's an idiot. They don't know how to use eBay. They don't know how to sell anything. They don't know how to make a proper sentence or capitalize anything. They don't even know how to use ellipses, and that's really, honestly, the worst thing about all of this. Misuse of ellipses in any grammatical sense anywhere that's publicly facing and in a professional environment should be an executable crime. That should be capital punishment right there. That and attempting to use a semicolon but misusing it, which is a million times worse than just not using it when you should have. Oh, also, he put grade 10. These are not graded. I'm looking at the photos. They would not be graded 10. And it's marked as sealed even though the cards are unsealed. Wow, that's amazing. So this dumbass is going to jail over his little caper where he thinks that he can hide stolen product on eBay where totally nobody will see it. Enjoy your time in jail on top of whatever civil penalties Wizards tries to go after you with, which is usually nothing, which I don't agree with. Oh, and I did say bid. The starting price was $350, but the buy it now was $455, and the winning bidder bought it. And it was bought about 6 hours after it was listed, so it took people a little bit of time to find it. And by people, I mean probably Hasbro. So as is the norm with these leaks, somebody somewhere, the printing company, Wizards, their distribution network, their playtesting thing, who they send these to ahead of time and tell them just, shh, be cool, don't leak them. Whatever went on, somebody needs to get their shit together. I don't know who, but it's someone. As far as I know, they at least stopped sending these early to level 3 judges just because they're all buddy-buddy and basically a bribe to keep being a judge, but that's a whole different video. But yeah, if you wanted more news about this product, tune in tomorrow. Hit subscribe, don't want to miss it. And I guess that's all the major news from today. 3 huge news stories I've decided to put all into one video. There's one more thing I want to touch on, but it's basically like a sentence. Yeah, the meta is still shit on standard. I played like 30 games today, and it's garbage. I could go into what I went up against, and how unbeatable, what weaknesses, what strengths, what I think should be banned or shouldn't be banned, or is it popular but ban worthy, or is it popular but appropriate power level? I could break all that down, but I'll just summarize it with it's still shit. It's still unplayable garbage. It's toxic deck after toxic deck, and I'd say 20% of the games I went up against it was like a real actual fair game. So I bet you saw that coming. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. That's your news for today, and I will see you guys next video.